Hello folks, how are you all doing? Welcome to Hadoop and Big Data introductory session. The main objective of this particular session is to understand, is it the right time for me to learn Hadoop? Can I have quick confirmation from someone on audio? Am I loud and clear? You can reply through the question panel. Alright, thank you. Thank you. Alright, great, let's get started. And let me generally in the actual session we used to have a complete introduction, everything, and this is going to be a 1 hour session. I'm going to quickly give an introduction about myself and get started. I am Muthu Kumar. You can address me as Muthu. I have 14 plus years of IT experience and around 4 plus years of experience in SMAC technologies. That's social, mobile, analytics and cloud. For more information, this is my LinkedIn profile. You can have a glance through my LinkedIn profile, and this is my LinkedIn link. Okay, whenever you have some time later, you can have a glance through my profile. Alright, so let's get started. Well, the main agenda about this particular course is understand why we have to learn Hadoop, know advantages of Hadoop and its predictions for 2015 and in future how it is going to look like, discover Hadoop career path, and understand how companies are using Hadoop at present and how they are planning to use in future. Right? Well, why Hadoop? Okay, let me start with use case. If you look at the amount of data that is getting generated nowadays, right, it's very massive and it is not in a structured format. Take whether it is a Twitter comments or Facebook comments or any photos, any audios that you take anything is a data, and we get huge amount of data nowadays. Like the systems generate data, sensors, mobile phones, satellites, your Internet of Things, like all the instruments in the houses, the sensors within the factory, everywhere the huge amount of data is getting generated. And if I put all this data together, all the relevant data together, and if I find, I can identify some pattern and I can identify some insights. But to handle such a huge amount of data, I need some place to let me stress on this particular word, handle. Handle is not about only storage. Okay, it's processing, cleaning, analyzing, visualizing, everything. Okay, it includes everything. So we need a platform or a framework to handle, analyze, clean everything, to do everything with the huge amount of data and especially unstructured data. Okay, database we will have structured data, but with the unstructured data I need a platform or a tool or a mechanism. Okay, that's what big data is about. And we have a Hadoop framework. Hadoop is a framework which facilitates distributed computing, distributed storage, okay, distributed processing. By using a distributed processing, it can handle huge amount of data because it supports horizontal scaling. Okay, let me just quickly open a small slide. Generally I used to use PPT for explanation. Let me open a small slide that's going to be more easier to understand. Alright, if you consider this as a system, earlier days what we used to do, if I need more capacity, I'll be increasing more processors, more memory, more hard disk, but beyond some limit I cannot grow, right? The vertical scaling. But nowadays we look for horizontal scaling. I'll be adding more and more systems parallel to each other, so I can add n number of systems and I can do the parallel processing, so I can grow to whatever the capacity I want. This is called horizontal scaling. If I want 100 systems, I can do it, and each system with say like 4 terabytes of hard disk, with 100 systems I'll get a capacity of 400 terabytes of data. And each system, if it can handle 1 GB of data per hour, and if I have 1000 systems in per hour, I can easily process 1 terabyte and I can get the insights. It can do the parallel processing, and Hadoop is the framework which is going to facilitate the processing and distributed storage. Okay, so that's in short about Hadoop. And Hadoop, let me make it very clear, Hadoop is not a big database. Okay, all right. Right. Now let me introduce about the 3 questions, and the answers to these 3 questions is going to create a magic triangle. Okay, and any questions, guys, please do post it in the question panel, and I'll be answering it at the end of the session. And any questions related to the about the course, all such stuff, you can post it directly to the Edureka support team. Right, and raising the hand, use that option only in case of very critical issues like you are not able to see the audio or not able to see the video. Okay, and after raising the hand, please do post it. Okay, so someone not able to hear. Others, I am audible, right, folks? All right, thank you. Well, so I'm going to explain about magic triangle. So whenever you'll have cloud is going to give the answer to the question where you will solve your huge amount of data problem. Okay, and Hadoop big data, right? Big data, we have Hadoop framework. This is going to give the answer to the question how you are going to handle huge amount of data, how you are going to process huge amount of data. Okay, all such things. And data science or machine learning is going to give the answer to the question what you are going to do with that huge amount of data after handling such a massive amount of data. What you will do, right? I want to identify the positive sentiments, I want to identify the negative sentiments, all such things. We will be using it to understand the answer what we are going to do. Okay, all right, so now we are going to see about Hadoop and big data. Okay, what is Hadoop and what is big data? Sorry, oops, this. Okay, if you look at, as I mentioned, the amount of unstructured data, the growth, it has become exponential. If you look at the past decade, the amount of data that is growing in terms of the unstructured data, right? Take for example, like let me give you a simple example. Assume nowadays, like they do very well, London and New York, few places. Whenever the vehicle is moving, or like whenever they get a red signal, right, in the junction, it will take a snapshot, couple of snaps at that particular location. Okay, what are the vehicles which are crossing the line at when the signal is turning to red? It will take the snap, and the system will have intelligence to identify the number plate, read the number plate, and send the ticket automatically to the person saying you violated the signal at this time in this particular junction. Imagine how much amount of data you need to process, how much amount of data you need to handle if you're going to automate this in all the junctions across the US, across UK, right, or across Europe. The amount of data you need to handle will be very massive, right? To handle such a huge amount of data. Now here we have images. Images are totally unstructured data, and we need a massive infrastructure or massive mechanism, framework which can handle it, right? So to handle unstructured data, we need a massive framework, something like Hadoop. Hadoop does this job. Okay, and these are all the numbers about how much amount of data we will be having it by end of 2020, and how much amount of data we will be projecting. Okay, this is one simple use case. How much amount of data will be generated from the plane engine? Okay, every plane engine per hour it will be generating around 20 terabytes of data, and a twin engine, and 6 hours of flight, right? And such flights we will be having it this many number of 28,537 number of flights we will be having it in a day. And in a year, if I calculate on an average, I'll be generating this much amount of terabytes of data. Nowadays what we do, just because we don't have a mechanism to analyze or identify the insights with such a massive amount of data, we discard those data. Okay, and there are few leaders like Amazon. They started using the insights to identify, okay, what or predict or prescribe what will be the sale, what will be the future. Okay, to handle, to predict all such things, I need to store first. I need to store and I need to analyze. I need a mechanism. Okay, that's what Hadoop provides us. If you look at applications, for example, Amazon, it uses the big data. Simple example is the recommendation. Whenever you log into Amazon website, right, it's going to give you a recommendation like 5 or 10 products out of millions of products. Maybe they may have like 4 or 5 million products within Amazon. Once you log in, immediately it's going to tell you these are all the products you may like. How it will identify? It will based on like whatever the purchase history you had, whatever that you purchased earlier, what are the products you browsed, and the similar pattern, what are the other users who purchased and what are the other products they had purchased, what is the similarity correlation between these users. A huge type of analytics it does. Okay, it does such massive analysis, and it will give you the recommendation saying, okay, these are all the products you may like, and most of the time it works out to be good, right? You will get all meaningful and more relevant products as a part of recommendation. And stock markets, you can predict what's going to be the simple example. Every now and then you will hear the term like bank is going to increase the interest rate by 25 basis points, right? Or banks, all the banks have been asked by the federal government to do a stress testing on their mechanism, on their system. When I say stress testing, how robust their systems are, how robust their credit mechanisms are. What if this much percentage of the people default, right? What's going to happen? Whether the complete system going to collapse like what happened in 2008, or to what extent it can support. For all such analytics, all such predictions, projections, we need to process huge amount of data, and we will be using the big data framework for us. And analyzing the spams, right? For example, whenever you get email, it's going to put the right email in the inbox and all the spams or junk email into the junk folder. Right? It needs some mechanism to understand and to handle, to process. Right? For all this, we will be using the framework, and within the framework, we will be using the data science algorithm, data science or machine learning algorithm to do what I am going to do with that particular huge amount of data. So that's a small introduction, few use cases. I can share like a lot more use cases every now and then when I come across. I'm going to share. The current scenario, the main reason we are going to get into the scenarios like Hadoop or big data is because of the unstructured data, images, audios, videos, right? For example, call center in Japan, what they did, they started implementing this, analyzing the audio. Whenever you call the call center, it will say, tell about your problem in 2 lines. Okay, you'll tell about your problem. Instead of finding the solution, they'll identify whether the customer is in angry mood or in the normal mood, in what mood the customer is in. Okay, the emotions they'll identify, and they'll route the call accordingly. If the customer is really very angry, they'll route the call to the person who can handle the angry persons very well. Okay, such decisions they can make. And organizations, they need to take the fact-based decisions, right? They need some fact to take some decisions. Simple example, whenever there is a hurricane about to happen in Florida, the sale of strawberries increased a lot. Okay, it's a fact. They couldn't identify any correlation between the hurricane and the strawberry, but it's a fact. It's proved in the past history. Okay, based on the sales record analysis, everything, they could find a correlation. Whenever there's a hurricane, the sale of strawberries increased by multiple folds. So what they will do, whenever there's a hurricane about to happen, they'll increase the stock of strawberries. Right? All such analysis. Or for example, immediately after releasing the movie, right? What they'll do, all the tweet comments, all the Facebook comments about the particular movie, they'll harvest, they'll analyze the sentiment, what people think. Okay, few movies, what they did, they changed the climax or removed few scenes in few geography. right? If you look at the movie in the America, the climax will be totally different than what you see in Eastern Asia or Western Asia. Okay, because all they need is the movie should run what people like. Okay, they'll identify, they'll analyze in the first show or in the second show. Immediately they'll analyze what is the reaction of the people, and based on that they'll tune it. Okay, so that further shows it will run, and it's not going to impact huge negative sentiments against that particular movie. All such facts, to identify the facts and take some decision, I need data. I need to analyze the data. One, the data volume will be very huge. I need to analyze it faster, and I need to get the insights quickly, and the data will be totally unstructured, so I need to handle unstructured data as well. Okay. And the more everything in analytics, we do it based on the probability, right? So bigger the data, more accurate the information I'll be getting, and more I can measure the accuracy of the data, how accurate the prediction is. Okay, all such things we can do. Accuracy measurement, what we will be doing, we will not there is nothing like a tool. Again, like every algorithm, it has a built-in mechanism to verify, analyze how accurate that particular model is, right? Everything works based on the probability. So the use of big data is nothing but a concept. Okay, and Hadoop is an enabler. Hadoop is the framework which is going to facilitate to handle huge amount of data. Advantages of Hadoops: it can handle huge volume of data, varieties of data, whether it is like you don't need any structure. It can be audio, it can be video, it can be image, it can be a text file, or it can be structured, right? It's not necessary always it will handle unstructured data. It can handle structured data as well. And variability, like for example, you can have a small size data, sometimes you can have a huge size, or like any complex structured data. For example, if you are getting a complex image, right? One simple example I can tell you. There was a website called Skybox, still it's existing. Skybox Imaging, it was acquired by Google recently. They take high definition photos of all the various places across the globe, right? For example, harbor, farm, cultivation, farm, storage yard, all such things. They'll take the high definition photos. They're planning to provide a API. Okay, for example, what is the utilization of cranes in the harbor in New York? Okay, by that they can channelize their trucks or any logistics they want, whatever they want to channelize, they can do it, right? For example, the color of the farm fields in the California, by looking at the colors, I can identify what will be the yield of oranges in the next 1 month. Okay, based on that I can demand, I can put in, I can sign contracts, I can put in various bets, right? Like all the sales, I can plan it based on like what will be the prediction, what will be the yield of oranges in next 1 month. Okay, all such things I can do. Here I need a complex algorithm to analyze the images, to differentiate what was the image scenario like 1 month back and now, or like 24 hours back and now. All such things I can do. Okay, it's like this is the highest I should say, like the complex image processing they are doing it, and now it's with Google. Okay, and globality. Here imagine any data that's coming at the global size, right? The volume is going to be really massive, and because of cloud I can use n number of machines. Cloud is not about only storage. Again, cloud, you can get systems to do processing. If you want 1,000 systems, it will be readily available. If you want 2,000 systems, it will be readily available. Within 5 minutes I can get 2,000 systems, do my processing and throw off the systems, and pay only for 2,000 systems that I am using. Say if I have used for 2 hours 2,000 machines, I'll pay for 4,000 hours. Per hour they may charge like say 20 cents, 30 cents per hour. I'll pay whatever it is and get my insights, get the problem solved. Okay. All ambiguity data and plurality of sources. now I have the data source available from multiple places, different dimensionality I have. Okay. So everything is handled by the Hadoop because of it's very fast, it's very flexible and scalable. It supports horizontal scalability. So whatever the volume, whatever the velocity at which you are getting the data, right, the speed at which getting the data, it can process, and it is open source, so it's very cost effective, and it is fault tolerant as well. Okay, it has very built-in beautiful robust framework, a robust architecture which can provide high availability and fault tolerant system. In a way, you can compare, I won't say directly comparing RDBMS and Hadoop is going to be a nice way to compare, but at least RDBMS stands little near to it. Okay, so that it will give you a clarity what Hadoop is going to be. Data types, RDBMS can handle only structured data, but Hadoop can handle different structures, structure, unstructured, semi-structured, everything it can handle. Processing, here processing will be coupled with the data. The one another major issue with RDBMS is you need to read the data over the IO from through the network. You have to bring the data to the compute and you have to do the processing. But in Hadoop, the processing happens near to the data, so there will not be any transfer of the data between the compute and the storage. Okay, it's a major and huge concept. We discuss almost like 2 to 3 hours on this particular mechanism, how things works, everything, the real course. As of now, you can assume Hadoop does the processing near to the data, and that's the reason it gets the processing faster. Governance, RDBMS needs to manage the standards structure, but Hadoop, it's loosely structured. You can have any structured data. And while storing the data in RDBMS, you need to have the schema or structure defined already, but that's not the case with Hadoop. While writing, you don't need a schema. Only on read, I will mention this particular data, read it using this particular schema. Okay, because of that, writes are very fast in Hadoop. There is no validation happens while writing, but in RDBMS, reads are fast compared to the write in RDBMS. Okay, but since this doesn't mean the reads are going to be slow in Hadoop. It will be multi-fold times. It will be faster because it's going to do that stuff in parallelly. It's going to do the stuff with parallel processing. Cost-wise, RDBMS involves software licenses. Yes, of course, there are some open sources available, but here in Hadoop, everything is open source, and only the support needs to be bought for the enterprise class support. Resources, it's RDBMS well-known resource for decades. We know about it. Hadoop, it's growing, but I should say now it's attaining the maturity, right? It's attaining the stability or maturity period. Best fit RDBMS, it will be used for OLTP way of working, but in Hadoop it will be used for OLAP, online analytical processing. For 2015, if you look at like how it will be by end of 2015 or like 2016, right? Now you guys might see like huge amount of distributions about Hadoop, like Hortonworks, Cloudera, MapR, from Oracle also. They are providing the distributions. When I say distribution, all the open source, the complete packages as a suite they will be providing. All the components will be bundled together and they will be providing the enterprise class support. And people started looking at Hadoop as more than analytics tool, as a platform, so that the platform is available. I can use the platform and get the job done. And with the cloud, being the cloud available, I can use Hadoop on top of cloud, and I can establish the cluster. Cluster is nothing but a group of machines which is going to work together and get the problem solved. Okay, and integration, now it provides like integration with wide varieties, wide spectrum of technologies, softwares, libraries or frameworks like SAS, Teradata, Talent for visualization. Huge amount of enterprise softwares. Now they can interact and they can get connected to the to the Hadoop. Okay. And it starts supporting to the SQL way of working. Okay, when I make it SQL way of working, I can use Hadoop for storage, reading, transactions. I can use. And the skills, again, like the shortage, that will slowly it'll become disappear, because most of the enterprises, they started adapting Hadoop, and they internally, like they started developing the skill sets, as well as like outside market also, like the enough amount of skills for Hadoop. It's becoming popular. Okay, and Hadooponomics. Okay, maybe like I should say like the new term coined. Okay, by Forrester. It makes the enterprise adoption mandatory. One big thing is like if everyone started adapting a particular technology, right, and slowly like the other companies or organizations will also be forced to use that particular technology because of the advantages or the edge they are going to get. The other competitors, if they get some edge because of that particular technology, all the other competitors will also start adapting that particular technology. So the enterprise adoption again is going to happen. So no more Hadoop, it's a hype word. Already people started using it. Okay, and it is well deep into the enterprises, and enterprise already they are using Hadoop. Okay, career pathwise, if you look at within Hadoop, there are like I can say like three branches as such for Hadoop developers, who will be doing the actual coding, development, architecting the solutions, solving the business solutions, or implementing whatever the Hadoop the data scientist they refer to, the problems that they are going to refer. Okay, all such things that will be done by the Hadoop developer. When it comes to administrator, they will be doing all cluster establishment or creating. For example, if I want a cluster, Hadoop cluster with 400 systems in my organization, right? What type of systems I should get from the cloud, how I should connect them, how I should make highly available, what are all the configurations I should do, and out of the 400 systems, I'll reserve 350 systems for production use and 250 systems for testing and development, and out of 350 I'll configure 300 for high net worth clients, and 50 for all the prospects or the new clients. I'll be reserving it. All such configurations will be done by the Hadoop administrator, identifying monitoring the performance of the monitoring the performance of the cluster, how it is performing, and creating a virtualization. For example, if you want to create a private cloud to establish the cluster, we will be using something called virtualization within our own environment. That's more like a cloud. Okay, again, virtualization is a huge version, so I'm just explaining just in a single word. That would be the job of the administrator. When it comes to data scientist, here they need to have the statistical skills, machine learning, how to identify a meaning from the data. Simple example, I mentioned a few use cases, right? They'll read, for example, the violating the traffic signals. They'll identify the car or vehicle, and they'll identify the number plate, read that particular number. Simple example, I can tell you, if you open any photo within Facebook, it will ask, okay, who this particular person is. Do you want to tag that particular person with a name? Okay, it can identify the human face, right? Same time, if you have some other dog or some other animal near to the human being, it's not going to identify that. It can very well identify all the human faces. How? Because the system learned with some sample data, and it can identify all the human faces. Whatever the emotions you show, right? It can very well identify all the human faces. So all this comes under the machine learning. What algorithm to use, how to process the images, image processing, audio processing, video processing, everything comes to finally all system can understand is a number. We will be converting that into a vector, and we will be using multiple algorithms, like the group of algorithms available for recommendation, clustering, everything is like it will be deep into the machine learning and statistics. Okay, so all such things will be the essential skill sets for the data scientist. So data scientists will be learning in terms of what algorithm to use and which algorithm where and how to apply. Okay, so any organizations you see all these three people to be working together. If you look at this is what this magic triangle going to make, right? Where like in the cloud, the administrator will be establishing the cluster, and Hadoop Big Data Developer will be doing the actual program. Whatever the data scientist identifies, okay, what needs to be analyzed, how needs to be analyzed, that will be implemented by the big data developer. And data scientist will identify any new algorithm or identify the efficiency of the algorithm. All such things will be done by the data scientist. Okay, so always these three together is going to create a magic triangle, and it will create wonders. Okay, if you look at the job trends, of course, like there's a huge jump happening in the past couple of years. Okay, especially on the the Hadoop as well as like big data area. Okay, salary wise, like again, it is in the always in the higher side. If you look at the salary or like billing rates for Hadoop, always it will be in the higher side compared to the other technologies, or I should say like any platform. Okay, major companies, it's not limited to this. Okay, you can look for something like powered by Hadoop. This gives list of companies. Again, it's not limited to only these organizations. Whoever voluntarily they have listed in this particular page, it has been listed over here. Has some good amount of list how they are using it within their own organization. Okay, these are like few companies, but not limited to these companies alone. And how companies are using Hadoop? Take any industry, whether it is a retail, web, or retailing, anywhere, like everywhere, whenever you have a huge amount of data which cannot be handled by single system, the big data framework will come into picture. And there are some systems available to handle the data in multiple systems. For example, you may ask, okay, Oracle can handle the data with multiple systems. Of course, yes, but it demands the data to be in a structured format. Right? In unstructured data, very well you can store it, but if you want to analyze, I want to group. Simple example, if I give you 1 million pages, 1 million photos, I want to segregate all the photos, okay, all the photos of the landscape, all the photos where you see some human faces, all the photos where you see some animals or birds separately, right? We can very well do it with the system, but we cannot do it with the database. So for example, recommendation engines, ad targeting, search quality, abuse, click fraud detection, everywhere the big data can be used. Okay, simple example, I can tell you one use case. You guys might have heard about Target, right? There's a retail shop we have in retail store. We have it in US called Target. What happened was, you can search for Target, okay, big data pregnancy. Okay, it came in the magazine Forbes, okay, in 2012. What happened? They were analyzing all the weblog, the transaction informations, or the web history. Okay, basically the weblog they were analyzing, and they were using machine learning to identify what product to suggest for the person based on the browsing pattern. Okay, somehow the system identified, and it predicted, saying like what are the probability this particular person having a child at what age, and they'll start recommending the products like diapers, toddler toys, all such things they'll be suggesting. The same way they identified a particular person, the probability of being pregnant is very high, and they started sending the coupons for prenatal vitamins and coupons for other offers. They started sending to that particular person, and unfortunately it happened to be a teenager. Okay, and the father of the particular girl started sending notices to the Target company, and they filed a case, okay, against Target. But after 3 months, it happened to be true. The father came to know it's true, so he withdrew the case. Okay, and it was a very popular. That's the time when like big data and machine learning was becoming more and more popular. Okay, this is about like even someone else about to identify, okay, what's happening. The system can identify and can detect, okay, this is what's happening. Okay. For example, like a married person with a newborn child, when they browse, the probability they will get saying like, why don't you buy diapers? Okay, and they can identify, predict the gender as well based on the browsing pattern. It will start suggesting if it is a girl baby, it will start suggesting all the toys related to the girl babies. Okay, all such things they can do. So these are like few use cases where it's being used nowadays. Okay, and there's another beautiful video again. It's a documentary. Okay, if you look at the videos, it will come in the first video, BBC Horizon for big data. Okay, it's a 1 hour video. It talks beautifully, and it was implemented. There was a use case in I think Department of California Police Department. They implemented the prediction, okay, where the crime about to happen. Okay, the probability of the crime about to happen in this particular region is very high. Such predictions they could do, and it worked in fact. Okay, it's a very beautiful video. If you have some time, you can search on this particular term and you can search for this, but have a glance through this particular video. Okay. And take for any government to identify whether the welfare scheme is reaching the people properly or not, fraud detection, cyber security. It's being used in the government side. Healthcare and life sciences, it's being used extensively. Okay, for example, healthcare service improvements, even like medicines. Nowadays, people started suggesting, instead of telling the user, this medicine is 95% it's going to work for this particular patient from this geography. Okay, they can start telling it's going to work 100% for this particular person because it's customized for his gene and for his geography. Okay, that's going to be more effective, right? And it's going to be more attractive as well. So all such things it could be used. Okay, so there is n number of scenarios, a huge list to be discussed and debated, and we will be using for learning purpose. We will be using something called a virtual machine to understand what is going on. Okay, I can show you a quick example. Okay, here what I'm going to do. I have a set of file. Okay, in we use something called HDFS. Okay, HDFS is nothing but storage, Hadoop distributed file system, where we will be storing all the files. Here I have HDFS running in this particular virtual machine. This is the particular file, small file, a text file. I'm going to identify all the words, the frequency of each word occurring in this particular document. We'll be using this particular use case extensively for all text processing, feature processing, sentiment analysis we'll be using. So that particular thing, the same thing, I'm taking it as an example. I'm going to identify each word, how many times it occurred. Okay, and I'm going to run a small sample. This comes as a sample as a part of Hadoop installation. Okay, so I'm going to say Hadoop jar. This is how I'll be calling the program, and I'm going to call this particular program called word count. Fear no more is the input I'm giving, and I want the output to be stored in this location. Okay, this is how I'll be triggering the program. Okay, how internally works, architecture, and how it's going to help us. Everything we are going to discuss it in the actual course. Okay, in detail, how to trigger, what are the plus, minus, everything we will be discussing. Okay, so it runs with a concept called MapReduce. Okay, MapReduce is a concept where we will be doing a set of functions in map, and I'll be doing a set of function by reducing all the values corresponding to the same key. It's a huge concept. We'll be discussing almost like 7 to 8 hours, almost 3 modules we'll be discussing about MapReduce. Okay, now I can go to that particular location and check. So I gave output July batch, July 6th July, right? So what did I give? Batch, capital J or small j? Forgot. So it's a capital J. So I should get into capital J and test 05, right? That's what I gave. Test out 5, and I can see what this meaning part R 00, everything like we'll be discussing it. This means this is the output of a reduce, and only one reduce ran parallelly. Okay, so here all occurred twice and occurred once. I'll be getting a complete list. So similarly, if I have 20,000 such documents, if I want to identify what are all the related words, right, I'll be running some sort of a X number of data science or machine learning algorithm on top of it, but I need a mechanism where I can run a distributed computing, and that will be provided by Hadoop for us. Okay, so this is a small hands-on to understand. And if you ask me, is this the right time for me to learn Hadoop? I'm going to say strong yes. The reason is Hadoop, it's worth it. Okay, and it's not, most of the people, they think Hadoop is a huge database. It's not about a huge database. It's a huge toolbox. Assume it like it's a huge toolbox. It can be used for storage. It can be used for analytics. It can be used for verification. It can be used for visualization. Whatever that you want, it can be used, and it can very well integrate with other enterprise systems. Any other database, it can interact. It can bring in data. You can export the data back. Okay, there's a vast amount of tools available. Okay, large enterprises already they started adapting Hadoop, and so soon the shortage, the skill set is going to disappear. So it's always better to learn faster and lead the race. Okay, and again, like huge amount of opportunities with huge pay package, it's available. Okay, so before finishing, let me take the questions. Okay, and I'm going to open the question panel. Before that, I'm going to read the questions that already has been posted. Okay, I'll read them and I'll give the responses. And if you guys are like don't have any questions, if you're okay, you're free to leave. Okay, and before leaving, please do leave your feedback. Anything other than good or excellent, please do mention it in the comment section. That's going to help us to calibrate. Right, I hope you all enjoyed. All the best. Have a good day. Let me read the questions. Okay, all right, so the first question, one moment. Okay, what are we going to do with the Facebook and Twitter data? I'll be doing the analytics. For example, like sentiment analysis, how the sentiments is oscillating about this particular movie or a particular personality. All such things I'll be doing. Yeah, Jatin. Sandeep, what is the prerequisite to learn big data and Hadoop? Okay, any knowledge? Okay, I think that's answered by the support team, I guess, right? Yes, that's good. Okay, and let me take the other questions. Yeah, any knowledge of core Java concepts, the basics. Okay, that's prerequisites, I should say, and some experience. Definitely, that's going to help. Okay, how can we make sure that after cleansing of the data using Hadoop ecosystem, the quality of the data is correct and accurate? Okay, that depends on the business problem or the business use case for which you are using or for which you are processing the data. Yeah, Amit? So it depends on like what you call that as an accurate data. That depends, that varies as per the use cases. Okay. So another question. Is there any alternative to Hadoop framework? As of now, there is no alternative. Everything is written on top of. You have various service providers like Hortonworks, Cloudera, Mapr. Okay, everything is built on top of Hadoop. Okay, they have brought in the Hadoop and they are providing enterprise class support. But the underlying is the software or the framework is Hadoop. There is no alternative as of now. But how is the different from NoSQL tools like MongoDB? Okay, NoSQL like MongoDB runs on top of Hadoop framework like Yarn. Okay, you can make Hadoop or like it provides a component called Yarn, yet another resource negotiator, which is like an operating system for the cluster. On top of that particular cluster, you can make MongoDB to run. Okay, MongoDB is a NoSQL databases, but it's only for storage. But here I can do the storing, I can do the analyzing, I can do the processing, everything. Okay. Slide 13, developer tester. What is the role of the tester? Tester in terms of analyzing the running the applications and verifying the results. Okay, various results with the various data, the accuracy of the data, and the performance of the particular application. All such things that will be coming as the roles of the tester. Jamit. Right. I have another question. How will you teach setting up Hadoop cluster online, or you're not teaching that? Okay, setting up the Hadoop cluster, how it works, everything will come as a part of Hadoop administrator course. Okay, this Hadoop developer course, it will talk about the how to work with the cluster. Okay, setting up of the cluster, the performance tuning, everything will come as a part of administrator course. Okay. And what is machine learning? In simple terms, if I say making the machine to learn based on some input data, I can give 100 images. I can ask the system. Okay, for example, I'll give 10,000 emails. I'll say out of these 10,000 emails, these 9,000 emails are like good emails and these 1,000 emails are spam. Okay, I ask the machine to understand something out of the particular content, identify some similarity. Next time if I give any other new email, it can very well say the probability of that particular email being a good email is like 90% and being spam is 10%. Then I'll take a decision. It's good to put in the inbox and not in the spam or junk. Okay, that's about the machine learning. Is Java a mandatory skill to learn Hadoop? Almost like 15 to 20% we will be using Java Bridge. Okay, even if you don't have, like we have some courses like where you can do some self-study and understand the Java. Okay, that will be coming as a complementary stuff as a part of Hadoop courses. You can learn and you can make yourself comfortable. Okay, all right. Okay, another question from Pramod. Most of the ecosystems in Hadoop I have heard is getting old, and the new ones like Spark. Okay, I should say it's like something like a misunderstanding or something. Okay, it's yes, of course the new technologies are coming, but Spark is not going to replace Hadoop. They are going to coexist. It's something like this. Even though Amazon gives the next day delivery, right? It gives the free delivery. Still, it will continue to give the free delivery. Okay, just because the next day delivery is available, not everyone is going to opt for next day delivery, right? Of course, in few places where there is an emergency, and of course it involves some cost, and it involves some the applicability. The next day delivery might not be applicable in all the places. So the same way, Spark cannot be applied in all the cases, all the use cases. Okay, so wherever it is applicable, we can leverage the Spark technology and get things faster. Now, Pramod? Okay, right. I have some more questions. Okay, I have another 12 more minutes. Okay, good. Let me try to answer most of the questions. What is sentiment analysis? To identify, in short, for example, if I harvest all the Twitter comments about a movie, I want to identify how many percentage of the people liked the movie and how much percentage they don't like it. Okay, that is like sentiment analysis. Again, the same question from Anjali: how Spark is different and is it better? Okay, the same answer. Spark is going to do the computations faster. Okay, and mainly it's designed to address the challenges we used to face in machine learning within Hadoop, especially like in the Apache Mahout. There is a component called Apache Mahout. There, like it was using traditional MapReduce, where like it's the computations used to be a little slow, and they brought in-memory computing. Okay, all right. I do not know base Java. My total experience is 9 years of experience, data warehousing, Informatica, SQL. Yeah, Sandeep. Thing is, I should say 20% of the session we will be using Java code, okay, to understand the MapReduce. But definitely, if you can understand the control flow, how the OOPs language is programmed, okay, that is going to help. But not all the components we will be using the Java. Okay, there are components like Pig, Hive, HBase, all such components we will not be using. There no need for use Java over there. Very rarely we will be using it. Okay. Okay. Another question from Jatin. What do we mean by customer churn? Customer churn is like what is the probability of me losing that particular customer? For example, if I have a number of postpaid customers, right? If I can predict, okay, the probability of this particular customer losing, okay, going out of my network is very high. I'll start talking to that particular customer, identify the issue, and try to solve his problem and bring him back. Okay, I can identify based on the feedback he is giving or the number of calls he is making. All such analysis I can do. Okay. Okay. Guru, there's a question. Is there a way relational database and Hadoop are linked? Okay. Relational database, it can store only the structured data. Okay, it cannot analyze or it cannot process. Assume you have like 100 terabytes of data, relational database, okay, in Oracle distributed database. If you want to process that, right, you need to bring all the data to some compute system and then do the processing. But that is not required in big data. It will come along with the storage, and compute will be coming together and nearby. Okay. Okay, question from DT. 4 years of experience in development, but now I am planning to change my career to data analytics. So what should I do? Okay, so the first thing you need to, as I mentioned, you need to have the knowledge on the big data, how to handle huge amount of data. Then you need to understand if you want to get into the analytics, all such areas. If you are from mathematics background, you can do the data science area, right? Of course, like the cloud will be taken care by the cloud administrator. Okay, that should be the way to go. Shubham, do we need a strong mathematical background to get into big data? No, not at all. For a big data developer, you don't need to have a strong mathematical background, but at least for the data science, right? Where if you're getting into the data science or the machine learning area, you need to some extent, because already the algorithms are implemented. Okay. How safe is Hadoop? Yes, it is safe and secure. A lot of enterprises they are using. Is Yarn equal to Hadoop 2.0? Yes, Yarn is a component which exists, which came in Hadoop 2.0. So you can assume generally they'll refer like Hadoop 2.0 as a Yarn, okay, but Yarn is a component in Hadoop generation 2. Okay, how do we do a parallel processing? It's a huge topic to handle, Sandeep. Okay, I'll tell you, like it'll slice the files to multiple pieces, and it works in the master-slave architecture. Okay, you will have a master machine and you will have a number of worker machines, which each machine will be handling each piece of data, and it will get consolidated. Okay. Pramod, what is the latest that is happening in the world of Hadoop that is still in the R&D phase? Something that is not yet solved or something. Every day you will see new technologies, Pramod. But thing is, if you ask me what's happening in the latest, as such, in the Hadoop stream itself, in the Hadoop stack itself, huge number of work is going on. Okay, that's like it cannot be listed in like in one or two such technologies. Okay, and let me take 3 more questions. Okay, there's a huge number of questions available. I'll maybe like I'll take 3 or 4 more questions. Okay, the other questions, like what you can do, you can address it to the support team. Okay, they should be in a position to send you the email. Okay, especially in terms of like your experience and whether that's going to fit to suit or not. Okay, that's going to definitely help you. The support team should be in a position to help you. All right. Will the presentation slide be available once the webinar is over? I'm going to say the recorded session, it will be available. Okay. It should be available. So it should be available as a part of the YouTube. Maybe like you can just drop an email this time you connected, right? And they should be in a position to share this particular webinar as well as this presentation. Just check with the support team. Okay, can I attend Java Basic first and then start Big Data and Hadoop after that? Sandeep, as a part of Hadoop Big Data, as a complementary stuff, the Java Basics, it's available. Okay, once you register, it should be available as a part of LMS. LMS is nothing but a learning management system, where you will have a number of topics and the concepts related to Java, which are essential for Hadoop to which are essential for the Hadoop to understand. Okay, so this is how the LMS looks like. So once you get in, register, like you will get an LMS, something like this. You can get into the course, and it will have all the course content, whatever that, and you will have Java Essentials, almost like 12 hours of videos, assignments, hands-on, everything will be there, and all the essentials for to guide you guys through that 30 hours of program, like assignments, hands-on, what are the commands to use, test data, and the virtual machine, everything, all the essential stuff, it will be available within your LMS, and it's a lifetime access available. You can use it for lifelong access. You will be having it, and you will get a 24/7 support as well. Okay, so and all the sessions that's being conducted, it will be recorded and it will be uploaded as a part of module, so it will be available as a reference in future as well. Oh yeah, so I hope you all enjoyed. I understand like few of the questions I couldn't answer due to the time limitation. Okay, I request you all to connect with the support team. They should be in a position to address. Okay, especially like more towards the questions of like you have this particular background and whether this particular course is going to suit you or not. All such questions they'll be in a position to address, as well as they'll be in a position to suggest you the best course available. Okay, because like there's a huge number of courses available which is going to be the best fit for your passion and interest. Is going to help you. All right. Okay, I hope you all enjoyed the session. Okay, any questions, clarifications, please get in touch with the support team. They should be in a position to help you. And as a last request, before leaving, please do leave your feedback. Anything other than good or excellent, please do mention it in the comment section. That should help us. Right. Okay, thank you folks, and this is Muthu. All the best. Thank you.